ago, Google's AI models were processing 9.7 trillion tokens a month. Last year, 480 trillion. This year, 3.2 quadrillion per month. That is a 7 times increase in 1 year. And Sundar Pichai opened Google I/O 2026 with that number, not as a flex, as a warning. Because what he was really saying is the scale of what Google is running right now is not something most people have a frame of reference for. And yet somehow the conversation online is Gemini better than ChatGPT? That is the wrong question. Google did not come to I/O 2026 to win a chatbot argument. Google came to show you what it looks like when a company with more daily users than any other technology on the planet decides to run AI through every single product it has at the same time. And the reaction from a lot of people was still, oh nice, another AI feature. No, this is Google making its move to become the AI layer underneath everything you already use every day. And I/O 2026 was the clearest, loudest, most product-dense signal yet that they are completely serious about doing exactly that. So let's go through it, all of it, because most breakdowns got half of it. Here is the full picture. Let's start where Google always starts. Search. Google called it the biggest upgrade to the search box in over 25 years. That is not a sentence Google uses casually. Here is what actually changed. The search box is completely reimagined. You can now search using text, images, files, videos, and Chrome tabs all at once. Search reasons across all of them simultaneously. AI mode, which already crossed 1 billion monthly users, is now merged with AI overviews into one seamless experience. You flow from a question to a search results page to an AI mode follow-up without switching anything. 1 billion monthly users. That is already one of the most used AI interfaces on Earth. And Google just made it the default for everyone. But here is the part most people glossed over. Search can now build generative UI on the fly. If you ask a complex question, Search does not just answer it. It designs a custom layout for your question in real time. Tables, graphs, interactive visuals, simulations, built specifically for your problem, not a template. And if your task is ongoing, planning a wedding, managing a home move, Search can build you a mini app for that task that you keep coming back to. And Search is no longer a list of links with AI sprinkled on top. It is becoming a platform that builds custom tools for your specific problems in real time for free. Google also launched search agents, information agents that run 24/7 in the background, monitoring topics, tasks, and projects that matter to you. Finance, shopping, sports, news. They synthesize updates and send them to you. So the people still asking whether AI mode is just AI overviews with a new name are missing the entire point. Google controls the front door of the internet, and they just rebuilt it from the ground up. Now let's talk about the engine underneath all of this, Gemini 3.5 Flash. And I know model releases are hard to make interesting. So let me skip the benchmark slide and tell you what this actually means in real life. What used to take a developer multiple days to build, 3.5 Flash can help complete in hours. What used to take an auditor weeks to review, it now helps finish in a fraction of that time. And it does this at roughly 1/3 to 1/2 the cost of competing frontier models. While running 4 times faster in terms of output speed, the trade-off in AI has always been fast and cheap or smart and slow. Gemini 3.5 Flash is Google's attempt to kill that trade-off entirely. And here is why that matters beyond the spec sheet. This model is not sitting in a lab, it is live right now as the default model in AI mode in search. Globally, it is in Anti-Gravity 2.0, it is in Android Studio, it is in AI Studio. It is the model powering Gemini Spark, it is the model inside the Universal Cart, it is the model behind Daily Brief. Every new product Google launched at I/O 2026 runs on this. And Google also confirmed that Gemini 3.5 Pro, the more powerful version, is coming this June 2026. The model story at I/O 2026 is not one impressive demo. It is Google quietly making the most capable AI faster, cheaper, and woven into everything at the same time. Oh, and to support all of this, Google unveiled its 8th generation of custom TPU chips. TPU 8T for training and TPU 8i for inference. Google can now train across multiple data centers simultaneously. No single location limits them. That is not an announcement that gets headlines, but it is the reason all of the above is actually possible. Before we go further, let's talk about the app sitting at the center of all of this, the Gemini app. 900 million monthly active users across 230 countries and 70 languages. Daily requests grew 7 times in 1 year. This is not a product searching for an audience. This is already one of the most used AI apps on the planet, and at I/O 2026, Google gave it 3 significant updates. First, Neural Expressive, a full redesign of the Gemini app interface. Fluid animations, vibrant colors, haptic feedback, new typography, Gemini Live baked directly into the core experience. Neural Expressive, which is the design team's way of saying we added gradients and we are very proud of them. But the UX change that actually matters is this: responses are no longer walls of text, key information is bolded at the top. Inline images, narrated videos, timelines, and interactive visualizations appear instead of prose wherever relevant. That is a meaningful shift. Second, daily brief. Every morning, Gemini pulls from your Gmail, calendar, and tasks to build a prioritized overview of your day. Not just a summary, it surfaces what is most pressing and suggests next steps. It is available today for paid subscribers in the US. Third, Gemini for Mac. You can now download the Gemini app on macOS free today, no browser required. And sitting on top of all of this is Android Halo, a new interface layer coming to Android later this year that shows you live agent activity at the top of your phone screen. Now here is the announcement that every creator, marketer, and anyone who makes content for a living needs to stop and actually pay attention to Gemini Omni. The head of the Gemini app at Google called it, and I am quoting this directly, the nano banana moment for video generation. That is a bold line. Let's see if it earns it. Gemini Omni is Google's new model that can create anything from any input, text, images, audio, video, any input, any output. But the capability live right now is video, and specifically conversational video editing. Instead of learning complicated software, you describe what you want changed. Change the background. Apply a cinematic zoom. Keep the character consistent across scenes. Add me into this short, and it does it. Understanding real-world physics, gravity, fluid dynamics, kinetic energy, so generated scenes actually look like they obey the laws of reality. Now, is this going to replace every professional video editor by tomorrow morning? No, relax. Your Premiere Pro trauma is safe for now. But here is what is actually happening. Gemini Omni is live today in the Gemini app, Google Flow, and YouTube Shorts Remix. It improves character consistency so your identity and voice are preserved across scenes. The barrier to making good content is dropping again. And when the barrier drops, more people enter the game. So if your only advantage is knowing how to use the tools, that advantage is shrinking. Your real advantage has to become taste, ideas, storytelling, and speed. The tools are becoming a commodity, the perspective is not. Now let's talk about the announcement I think will matter most in 12 months. Gemini Spark, Google's 24/7 personal AI agent. And here's what makes Spark different from every other AI assistant you have heard about. Spark works in the background even when your phone is off and your laptop is closed. It runs on Google Cloud virtual machines, always on, under your direction. It integrates with Gmail, Docs, Calendar, Drive right now, and is adding MCP support for third-party apps over the summer. It handles multi-step, ongoing tasks, it plans subtasks, it executes steps, it checks back with you before taking major actions. Most people are still using AI like a slightly smarter search bar. Write me a caption, summarize this email, make this sound better. Fine. Useful, but Spark is aimed at something completely different. AI that plans, acts, checks, organizes, and follows through on its own in the background while you do other things. Google put it clearly. Spark transforms Gemini from an assistant that answers questions into an active partner that does real work. That is a fundamental shift in what AI is actually for. It becomes a control layer for your digital life, which sounds useful, also slightly terrifying, but mostly useful. Coming first to Google AI Ultra subscribers in the US next week. Now let me tell you about the announcement that quietly rewrites how online shopping works. The Universal Cart, Gemini powered, works across every merchant and service. Not one store, not one site, across the entire web. You are reading Gmail and see something you want, add it to the cart. You're watching YouTube, add it to the cart. You are in search, add it to the cart. The cart follows you everywhere, and then it works for you. It finds deals, tracks price drops, shows you price history. And here is the detail that made me stop. If you add a processor and a motherboard to your cart and they are incompatible, the cart catches it and suggests the correct alternative before you buy. An AI that catches your hardware mistakes before you make them, which is honestly more useful than most people in your life. But Google went further than a smart cart. They built the Universal Commerce Protocol, making checkout smooth across any merchant, and the Agent's Payment Protocol, which means Gemini Spark can eventually make purchases on your behalf within the parameters you set. Brand, price range, conditions. The agent finds it, buys it, done. This is not a checkout button with a new skin. This is Google building the infrastructure layer for AI-driven commerce. Universal Cart launches in the US this summer, with YouTube and Gmail integration to follow. YouTube got 2 updates at I/O 2026 that I think most people completely underestimated. Let me fix that first. Ask YouTube. Google is turning YouTube into a conversational search engine. You do not type a keyword and scroll through results anymore. You ask, YouTube finds the right video, you ask a follow-up, it keeps context, you go deeper, it goes deeper with you. Find me the clearest explanation of how neural networks work. YouTube now thinks about intent, not just keywords. Now here is why this matters. Specifically if you make content, the way people find your videos is changing fast. It is no longer about having the right keyword in your title. It is about whether your content genuinely answers the question someone is asking, because Ask YouTube is looking at content, context, and relevance, not just metadata. If your thumbnails are keyword optimized but your video does not actually deliver on what it promises, you are about to feel that. If your content genuinely helps people, you are about to get rewarded for it in a way keyword SEO alone never could. Second, YouTube Shorts remix with Gemini Omni. You can now step directly into your favorite YouTube Shorts using AI. Pick an eligible short, describe what you want changed, add yourself, a product, a reference, a background change, get a fresh version with your edits for free. This one is genuinely new creative territory, remixing someone else's viral short with yourself in it. Brand collaborations that take an hour instead of a week. YouTube is no longer just a platform where you upload content and hope it gets discovered. It is becoming a creation platform where discovery and creation happen in the same place. That is a fundamentally different business. Now let's talk about the boring section, and I mean that in the best possible way. Because the boring Google AI tools are probably going to be the most commercially important things that came out of I/O 2026. 3 workspace updates that matter. First, Google Pics, Google's new image creation and editing tool built directly inside Workspace. Posters, flyers, infographics, built on Nano Banana 2. It treats every element as a separate object, so you do not edit a flat image, you edit individual layers. Your Canva subscription just got nervous. Second, Gmail Live and Docs Live. Voice capabilities arriving in Gmail, Docs, and Keep. You can now talk to your documents, tell Docs to move a section, bold a header, restructure a paragraph without touching the keyboard. And Gmail Live brings conversational search to your inbox. Ask questions. No more digging through threads. Here is the honest strategic point. Most businesses do not want 20 separate AI tools. Google's entire advantage is that people already use Gmail, Docs, Sheets, and Drive every single day. When AI becomes native inside those tools, the adoption barrier disappears. You do not change behavior, you just make the tools people already open every morning smarter. Speaking of smarter, the Google Smart Glasses are here. Google has been teasing AI-powered smart glasses for what feels like approximately forever. At I/O 2026, we finally got something real. Samsung's Android Egg R intelligent eyewear, made in partnership with Gentle Monster and Warby Parker. 2 types: audio glasses, Gemini speaks in your ear, directions, messages, context, navigation, hands-free, heads-up, display glasses, information visible right in your field of view, both compatible with Android and iOS, coming this fall. Smart glasses, again, but this time with actual fashion partners that people actually wear, an actual ship date, and actual iOS compatibility. So, progress. The demo showed someone asking the glasses to snap a photo and add a blimp with the I/O logo. The glasses did it hands-free. Google Maps walking navigation is integrated. You see directions in your field of view without taking your phone out. The reason this matters is not the hardware itself. It is what happens when Gemini leaves the phone and enters your field of view permanently. Because at that point, AI is not something you go to, it is something that is already there, waiting to be useful. I want to spend a minute on 3 announcements that almost every breakdown completely skipped over, because they say something important about how wide Google's ambitions actually are. First, Google Flow Music with Lyria 3 Pro. Google's AI music creation tool is now powered by Lyria 3. Google's most advanced music generation model. You can create full songs, edit sections granularly, change lyrics, swap genres, adjust instruments, and with Gemini Omni Inside Flow, you can now direct shareable music videos conversationally, describe what you want, the model builds it, you iterate. Second, Gemini for Science and Weather Next. Google announced Gemini for Science, a collection of tools connecting AI to over 30 life science databases, and Weather Next, the AI weather forecasting model, predicted a Category 5 hurricane 5 days before it hit Jamaica. 5 days. Traditional weather models running on supercomputers would take hours for a single forecast. Weather Next generates hundreds of possible weather scenarios in under a minute on a single TPU. Google called it a historic storm prediction. I would call it AI doing something that genuinely matters at a scale no previous technology could.
Google, meanwhile, cannot get my weather app to agree on whether it will rain in an hour, but predicting a Category 5 days out, that they nailed. Third, Pomali, Google's AI agent for small businesses.
Pomeli can design your brand book, build your website, launch your digital presence. Small business owner with no design background, no developer, no agency budget. Pomeli is the agent Google built for that person. And that is an enormous market that a lot of AI companies are ignoring while they chase enterprise contracts. Now, for the developers, and also for anyone who builds things for a living, Anti-Gravity 2.0, Google's agent-first development platform. And the shift here is the shift from AI helps you write code to agents build, test, deploy, and maintain entire workflows.
Phase 1 was ask AI to write some code. Helpful phase, Anti-Gravity 2.0 is different. Manager agents built with Gemini 3.5 Flash available via the Interactions API and in Google AI Studio. 12 times faster in Anti-Gravity than previous versions.
Agents that work across your editor, terminal, browser, and full development environment simultaneously. Stitch Agent, Google's real-time collaborative design tool, now guides and reflows layouts as it builds, imports existing code bases and design files, exports to Anti-Gravity, publishes directly to Netlify. AI Studio has native Kotlin support and one-click deploy. Here is the strategic point. When developers build on Anti-Gravity, they are building on Google's infrastructure. Agents run on Google Cloud. Apps deploy through Google tools. Data flows through Google systems. That is not a developer tool, that is infrastructure, and infrastructure is a much bigger business than an assistant. At some point, even the product names need their own AI assistant.
Here is my honest take after going through everything Google announced at I/O 2026. Google's biggest strength is not the model. It is distribution, search, YouTube, Android, Chrome, Gmail, Workspace, Maps, Cloud, developer tools, smart glasses, Gemini app.
Google has something most AI companies would spend billions just to get close to. Daily user behavior at global scale across products people do not choose to open. They just already have open. The numbers from this keynote are not marketing. 3.2 quadrillion tokens processed per month, up 7 times in 1 year. AI mode, 1 billion monthly users, queries more than doubling every quarter, 900 million monthly Gemini app users, 13 Google products with over 1 billion users each. These are not small numbers waiting to grow. These are already among the most used AI products in the world. And Google has not even finished rolling most of this out.
But Google's biggest weakness is also obvious: complexity. Just the product names announced or updated at I/O 2026, Gemini, Gemini 3.5 Flash, Gemini Omni, Gemini Spark, Gemini for Mac, Daily Brief, Neural Expressive, Android Halo, Google Anti-Gravity 2.0, Google Flow, Google Flow Music, Lyria 3, Google Pix, Nano Banana 2, Google Stitch, AI Mode, Universal Cart. Now, that's very big statement from Google. At some point, even the product names need their own AI assistant, and that is the real risk. Google may have the infrastructure to win, but it still needs to make the experience simple enough for normal people, because normal people do not wake up thinking, today I want to explore an agentic multimodal ecosystem. They wake up thinking, can this thing help me get work done faster? So here is the actual takeaway. Google I/O 2026 was not just a launch event, it was Google showing the world what it looks like when a company with the most distribution on the internet decides to go all in on AI across every single product at the same time. If you are a creator, Gemini Omni, YouTube Shorts Remix. If you are a developer, Anti-Gravity 2.0 Managed Agents. If you run a business, Workspace, Google Pix.
If you shop online, the universal cart is coming for your browser tabs. If you run a small business, Pomeli is worth your attention. And if you use the internet every day, which is everyone, watch search. Because Google's AI strategy is not about building a better chatbot, it is about becoming the AI layer underneath every product, every decision, and every moment you already spend online. That is not a chatbot, that is infrastructure, and that is the real story from I/O 2026. Now, if you made it this far, you clearly care about where AI is actually going, not the hype, the substance. So, if this breakdown was useful, the single best thing you can do is subscribe. Because this channel covers exactly this, the AI shifts that matter, explained the way they should be explained. No hype, no jargon for the sake of sounding smart, just what is actually happening and why it matters to you. If you want to go deeper on anything we covered today, whether it is Gemini, Spark, the Universal Cart, Anti-Gravity, or Ask YouTube, drop it in the comments. I read every single one. And the topics you ask about most are exactly what I cover next. Thank you for watching. This stuff moves fast. The best way to stay ahead of it is to stay here. I will see you in the next one.